And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mufasa's Daily Book Reading at Noon. Of course, today is the finale of the book. We're reading Bruce D. Schneider's Energy Leadership book. I hope you've had a fantastic time hearing some of the knowledge and the wisdom and the energetic frequencies and just all the leadership stuff that's been provided in the book. And I know we've just been reading it for 10 minutes, but it's packed. It has been just packed with some beautiful knowledge that we can all use in our organizations. So today I'm going to be reading from the finale, the last chapter, and then I'm going to tell you there's an epilogue, but I'm not going to read it today, okay? But I will provide you with an epilogue, and you'll find it on our YouTube channel. So just to close everything off, right? You'll find the epilogue on our YouTube channel on Monday. So so you'll also see that the description to our YouTube channel is on the link to our YouTube channel is in today's live description. So click on that. Make sure that you follow us on our account on our channel for the epilogue and just for some awesome, wholesome content as well. I'm going to start reading today's chapter 12, and it's called The Power of Partnership, Writing the Success Script, and this is focused on level 6 and 7. Let me start my timer. Okay, are we ready? Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Rumi, Sufi poet. When Richard rang me a few days later, he explained that Nate had been difficult to reach, but finally taken his call just an hour ago. Richard said that each time he picked up the phone before he dialed, he took a moment to center himself and imagine being able to talk to Nate like they were friends again. It was better, Richard thought. That it was better, Richard thought, that Nate wasn't available right away because it gave Richard the chance to visualize the conversation many times before it actually happened. So how did it go when you finally talked to him? I asked. There were some bumps in the road, Richard reported, but I couldn't ask for a better outcome. What was the key piece for Nate? I wondered aloud. Richard said he posed an important question and asked Nate to please give it sincere consideration. Ultimately, what would you like to have come out of this? After giving it some thought, Nate told Richard that he didn't want to be angry anymore, and he didn't want to go back to feeling bad about himself either. Nate had then brought the conversation to a turning point. What I really want is some sense of peace regarding this, and to get on with my life. When Richard had also asked him how well he thought he'd meet his goal by following this current line of action, Nate became silent, then confessed, I don't really know. So Richard posed this possibility to him. Would Nate be open to a different line of action that would ensure the result he wanted? That was when they really turned the corner, Richard said. At that point, and without realizing it, Nate gave Richard signals that he would go from a level 3 approach. With Nate's newfound perspective, Richard knew he could help Nate find a way to forgive him, and perhaps even for Nate to forgive himself. Before he called him, Richard had already decided to give Nate whatever resources he had at his disposal. The rest was just details. So where does that leave you now? I asked. Well, Nate's going to move forward with some counseling and career coaching that should help him regain his professional footing. And he's dropping the lawsuit. Congratulations, I'm sure that's a relief. And what's the status of your relationship with him? Richard took a deep breath and heard him exhale slowly. You know what? I think we'll be resuming our friendship. I gave a lot of thought to this even before I called him, going through each of my options. And here's what I feel about it. I want to engage him at a higher level. I want my response to him and my relationship with him to be driven by level 6. Because the truth is, Bruce, he doesn't really need my help. In so many ways, I am like this guy. Now that I understand the levels of energy and have experienced many of them, I can see that I'm no better or worse than he is. And we all go through the same stuff. Also, there's no reason for me to judge Nate as broken. Nate's on a journey just like I am. Maybe we can learn a bit from each other. He stopped abruptly and forced a laugh. Now who's all touchy-feely, right? He sounded self-conscious and awkward. Richard, come on, I urged him. Aren't we beyond all that? This is awesome. Don't downplay it just because you're in unfamiliar territory. You're to be congratulated here. You truly have been up and down all the levels, and you are consciously choosing a level 6 experience now. That's an amazing thing. Think about how much you've grown in these last few months. I am a giant of a man, Richard said, gently chuckling at himself. I could hear both warmth and humility in his voice. And when he said our goodbyes later, I couldn't help but marvel at the transformation taking place in his brilliant human being. When I saw Richard about a week ago for our regular appointment, he ushered me into his office and closed the door softly. He sat down in his usual chair, and I did the same. This routine had taken an on-air of ritual lately, and this morning Richard and I seemed especially aware of it. So Richard, what's up? I began. To start with this, profits, Richard responded. If we keep this going, we'll meet our goal well before the 6-month mark. Morale is higher too. I'm happy to report that the only thing that's lower is my golf score. Our day was off to a great start. The time had come to address in more detail and the final 2 levels of the energetic self-perception chart. Richard had already beautifully demonstrated level 6, so I decided to build on that. Level 6 is the start of the 3rd circle of awareness, I reminded him, and it's right where he'd been operating in his most recent conversations with Nate. The third circle of consciousness is called Self-Transcendence. The word self is written in all lowercase because it is the small self that you're transcending to allow the powerful leader within you to rise. That's very beautiful. The core thought for level 6 energy is synthesis, which is the blending between which is the blending together of people and everything else as one. When Richard reflected about Nate and how he saw himself in him, in many ways, I am this guy. He was echoing a level 6 perspective. At level 3, Richard might have elected to forgive Nate, to move on and let Nate move on. At level 4, he might have looked for ways to be of greater service to Nate in his transition. At level 5, he might have decided to take everything that experienced together as an opportunity to learn more about himself. At level 6, no choices would be needed. Richard would experience all situations in business as well as in life in general, not as good as bad, but only as situations. At level 6, there's little need, if any, to make judgments about yourself, others, or life occurrences. Because of this, you encounter an ongoing joy within yourself for no reason at all. While you can still feel the pain associated with everyday living, you don't judge that pain. So as the diamond is within the coal, level 6 offers a high potential for creativity and development of self and business. because there are fewer blocks in the way of true potential. Level 6 leaders. While leaders at this level are highly active in their organization and willing to do anything they'd asked anyone else to do, these individuals lead more by presence than by actions. They're role models who often look up to as wise, kind, and fair. These leaders seem to know all that's going on in the organization without having to ask. They have a keen sense of intuition and use it on a regular basis to make decisions and to generate ideas. The level 6 leaders are powerful yet humble. They know their level of excellence and are still interested in growing. They listen to feedback from others about how they're leading and being perceived and take action without ego blocks to improve. Most leaders give minimal information to staff members and projects and company situations. Level 6 leaders, however, share detailed information about all aspects of the company on a regular basis. When it comes to keeping people informed, the level 6 philosophy is the more they know, the more things flow. I love that. The more they know, the more things flow. And that concludes our reading for today. That's very powerful. So we only got to level 6 leaders, and now we're introduced to the self-transcendence is it consciousness? Let me just refer consciousness, right? So which is very beautiful. The more they know, the more things flow. You will remember that at the beginning, Richard wasn't telling his staff a lot of things. He wasn't giving them a lot of details, and they were feeling they weren't feeling informed. They were feeling restless, and they didn't know what their future and the company's future was. So, which brought a lot of tension and stress into the company, and they were not very productive. As soon as Richard started to let them in, let them know what's happening, giving them more, the more they know, the more things started to flow. And I think that's a beautiful principle to take for today. The more they know, the more things flow. I think I'm going to start using that just in my life. And I think we don't do that a lot because we think we're oversharing, right? So of course I would imagine that there are not boundaries, not even boundaries. Is there boundaries in level 6? Is that an ego block? Well, maybe we'll find out in the epilogue. Leave your comments about what you think, and I'll see you on Monday. Yes, I will see you on Monday, and I will also make sure that I inform you of the beautiful epilogue that I will upload onto our YouTube channel. So that is where you will get, full circle of the book before we move on onto something else. We are going to move on to another something. It's a little surprise, but enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm always radiating energy leadership towards you, and I will see you on Monday. Goodbye.